and or in their home region and they didn't win it. So it doesn't mean it doesn't equal a win.
Yep.
But they're definitely stronger, and we see tendencies there. If you get a home circle, you get better positions.
Well, it's time. We're going to Erangel here. It's 2 final games for week number 2. Games 39 and 40 will be played on the grasslands as we head over to our commentary team. Thank you very much around the world for tuning in. Sims and Demon, take it away.
I think he's getting a bit creepy in his old age.
There's 2 games left. He's ready for it, his lad.
I think he's ready to go. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he wants to get on a plane himself.
But look at this. This is, we just got a glimpse of it. Just the tiniest sliver of it when we saw some of the player screens. This is a nasty, nasty first visit to Erangel for today. The final 2 games of the week, and some of these teams will be looking to finish strong going into the final week with just 22 games remaining. We are expecting to see a couple of adjustments. Red Diamonds will be going to Sosnovka. Would not be too surprised to see NIP in Lipovka as well.
So you can essentially, from this one, pretty much, in terms of early looting, right off the top half of the map. So Georgia Pol, it's going to take some time to get to. Gatka, it'll be a stretch, but it'll be okay. So Winstrike are going to be fine. Georgia Pol's going to be a no-go zone. Sorry, I did just repeat myself there. But this will give you
as well.
Yeah, this will essentially break that up. So Red Diamonds will come down. Navi will take over Novo.
Could we see our first Sosnovka circle with that playing path? Do you think it sort of works in that way?
This is going to do one or other. This either goes Sosnovka and everyone's laughing, or this gets or you get the previous circle and you just go north west and it just says, well, you've all got some work to do now, boys and girls.
Just smashes it up there. Well, here we go.
Not bad. Not bad.
It's a standard circle. It's a standard circle. I think everyone's going to be relatively happy with that. But yeah, for the first time, actually, I don't remember in all the games we've had on PEL, 2 teams being on Sosnovka, other than when Rage have rotated through it.
Literally what we're about to say. That's the only other time we've seen it. And when we saw that, Navi set up a bridge camp and said, okay, well, it was a bridge camp, but it was more a show of strength because Rage had rotated. I think that was the 3rd time they'd done that. So Navi said, look, no more of this stuff. We want to come over here now because Liquid have pushed us out as a home and we need a new place to land. So we'll shoot you, we'll kill you, don't do it again. That's you telling off. This time round, teams will know that there is multiple teams over on Sosnovka. The Jokers, they might wait late game and say, well, we'll hang around here. We'll see if we can catch Rage coming all the way down from Prim. Maybe they take a long one through Longwoods and they pick up 1 or 2 kills. They'll also wait for the Red Diamonds, potentially. Or it goes the other way. Nobody bothers doing it. Both teams are sitting happy. They go across the bridges, no issues whatsoever. But with that circle, everyone doesn't have to dive middle. There is an option for TSM or G2 to sit back, hang around a bridge, and maybe collect a few kills. There's even an option for Navi to do it. They might be able to get across and wait for Red Diamonds. It's all swings and roundabouts, and we can sit here and predict as much as humanly possible. Generally speaking, teams have been dive bombing central. It seems to be a common theme occurring time and time again. I suppose we can potentially expect the same old to happen now.
Now, what do we make of, like, you know, the mentality? Let's start talking about these teams because, you know, realistically, obviously we've talked about needs and these. Oh, we've had these amazing performances, but realistically, after 40 games, we're kind of seeing who's going to be the top 4, or certainly at least the top 6. Actually, probably top 8 at the moment. But there is starting to be a bit of a gap forming. There is a couple of teams that have been surging up that table, NIP being one of them. They've had an absolute cracking week, consistently placing up. Vitality have actually gone downwards a little bit. They had a really good first week. Not so bad a second week, but a kind of an average one, which is kind of obviously with everybody else stepping up. And then you're looking at week 3, obviously developing. The money that's on the line, the placement points, the pride that is on the line. Nobody wants to be 16th place going into the end of the season, that's for sure. We've seen this battle before, haven't we?
Yeah, this is almost a repeat of what we saw yesterday where Vitality pushed on an M19 and said, hey, that's not happening, boys. Do one, Will they? So they won't commit to it. They'll drive away from this and split. So I'd expect Jazz to pull away.
Yeah, well, he's still kind of there. I don't know if his vehicle's stuck or not, but the rest of the team are coming in. I think they might commit to it, you know. But look at James. James is also coming in as well.
I thought they were on the other side, so they are going to commit to it.
Okay, so it's actually
that's my bad. I thought they were further away.
Because Vitality are already there, James has just pulled away.
Okay.
Remember, obviously M19 came in, Team Liquid were there. I think there were still actually only 2 members of M19 when Team Liquid came in. They got wiped. It is a relatively central compound, in fairness, so definitely a certainly battlefield position. A double crate drop, though, by Prison. That's juicy.
That's bait as well. If you FaZe Clan and see that dropping down, that's all level 3 gear. If you see him for the Knights, they'll be able to see it from 2 different POVs.
Is coming as well. So is Voxic.
Yeah, and NIP have also, I've noticed, on Lepovka just dove in a vehicle, and VAD might go take a look at this. So we might get a butt of heads here. On either sides of the crate, we've got one going in the way of Voxic and one potentially going in the way of VAD on an IP if he wants to continue. That's all. Oh, yeah. Everything. Medkit, arm, job lot. What's the other one?
It's right in the middle of the road as well, right in front of the Prison. That's a horrible, horrible spot. Look at VAD just going past.
Okay, so that wasn't going for that one. That was literally a scout ahead to see what's in front.
I think he's having a swing around. I think he's having a swing around to see what's there.
Ooh, I think FaZe has just caught for TSM on top of this hill. They must have both scouted out one another because Michael's looking this way with the SLR, so maybe he has the information that
Voxic's got the AWM. Look at that. You can see it in the pit there. He's managed to collect the AWM, so the rest of the Knights coming over. Oh, guys, there's another.
Snipers and big boy snipers at the hands of the Knights. That's going to be fun.
Here comes Reels. Reels is like, I'm coming. A second
Give me a bit of that, son.
I mean, it may well lose the position. We'll see. Na'Vi coming in over the bridge, so they're safe for now, though G2 grouping at the farm. Red Diamond's also just coming over the river. Here comes Reels and Drayden. Is he just going to collect Voxic? Do they realize there's another crate? Don't think they do.
Well, surely if you'd have seen one, you'd have seen the other.
Let's just see if they take a swing.
It is in a bit more of an open area, though, because it's on the side.
Yeah, it was the side. And you just don't expect the double crate drop that often.
They've left it. Camera's gone ahead, got themselves a compound.
Action, yep.
Okay, let's not bother. Let's not get overzealous here. They've already been gifted one. Don't get too greedy. Cancel it. Let's just go back to where we were. Get his compound and set up now. He's got level 3 gear, and he's got an arm as well. Na'Vi are about to run the gauntlet here. They are on your screen.
Straight to Team Liquid. So just over the other side, so they're stopping at the back of Shelter. Team Liquid, you can see further north, they've got themselves, are they in Alamo? No. Yeah, they're in Alamo. You can see James is down there.
So Vitality in the end did set up Shaq there. I actually thought when we looked at their POV, they were further away on the next little compound in the ditch, but they wasn't, so it was my mistake. I thought they'd denied it, but they committed, and the lockdown now in the Liquid compound. They got there before Team Liquid.
Oh, Santi Gems is actually on the other side of the Shelter, so they are pretty close to one another.
Yeah, they again, and that's a reposition in the fact that Vitality had already got ahead of the game here. You could see what James was looking for. He goes to that point, has a scout, holds front, and says, all right, well, either we sit here or we move there. That one's full. We're sitting here. ENCE, this is an interesting one from them. We usually don't see them get so deep so early on, but they've come straight down from Stalburn. There's 3 of them already pincered between NIP and the Knights. NIP might get caught off guard here. There's Miracle on the rotation.
Yeah, he's well late. He's coming out of the Lepovka. He's going to go straight past ENCE. I think we could be seeing our first death of the game here.
Kill feed. Show us it.
Going to be going that way. He's drove straight past them. They haven't fired.
He's got away with murder.
Oh, now they're firing. Oh, actually, at least the Knights that's firing on him instead. Yeah, you can see he's took a bit of damage.
You shouldn't be alive. You just run through 2 teams. You should not be alive, my friend.
I can only imagine they happen to have just pulled into the compound.
Just eyelined him.
Yeah, and just saw him coming past, and just assumed he was going past. But yeah, but he's managed to get away. Join the rest of the team.
Clear, at least, so everyone made it out alive. Na'Vi obviously went for the quick push, and Bestalok and Co. Red Diamonds have now followed in. They're inside Milta.
Raise your blue circle coming in. By the way, raise your edge. They are 1 win away from being the second highest winners in the game. They've got 4 victories, which is joint with G2 and ENCE. TSM's the only team ahead of them at the moment with chicken dinner wins.
You were speaking, and I didn't really make an advancement, you were speaking about maybe potentially knowing his top 4 and seeing the head of the pack. This week, and to kind of throw that up in the air, we've started seeing a few teams who are beginning to creep, beginning to get a few points. doing quite well,
Feel
closing
the footing
gap.
out, yeah.
Close the gap in that like 4th down to 10th position. And then next week, we could have all that thrown in the air completely.
It could be, yeah.
Everything could go topsy-turvy, and all your teams could just drop.
If someone has a big first day, it could change the... Not so much the table, because it obviously will change the table a little bit, but more importantly, it will give them that massive morale high that you could see them go on a tear, like with a big run, because the pressure, it's pressure next week. Like there's no pressure this week. Everybody's so relaxed, chatting, sharing, talking to each other. Next week it's going to start getting more serious. You know, the conversations will stop a little bit. You know, the seriousness will start to creep in. Speaking of creeping in, James and Ibby up on the hillside. Reels is kind of stuck between them at the moment, just living life as a rock.
He's going to keep his head down. They don't want to lose a man who's holding point at this point. Ira sees Brexaco on the rotate. Job done. Keeps the ditch to himself. Kate knows where he is, and you can see the aggressive fire coming through, but he's happy for now. I'll tell you what we'll do next game as well, Lee. We'll take a look at the scoreboard, and we'll see if the next game, imagine it, of end of week number 3, and we'll kind of play it as if to say, all right, your top 4 going to London, and give an example of, is it locked, or is there still example for other teams to kind of open up during that game?
Someone that has opened up is Navi. They found Uber on the hillside. He'd be back revived. They went for a 2-2. You can see the 2 in the yellows, 2 up on high. Navi obviously moving from shelter to ditch. TSM coming up on towards the prison sort of compounds outside the lumber mill, so they've got a long way to go. Team Liquid, I was surprised to see Team Liquid kind of sending it as they did.
Oh, look at this creepy,
in and around that mansion forest area. I guess they may be looking at it and thinking, mansion finish again? Courtyard? Will we have a revival? We were talking about Reels. We were talking about the fact he was down there. You cannot leave the highest kill leader in the game, in the entire lobby, which is not a bad thing to have after 2 weeks worth of games. You can't just leave him in the rock. They didn't know he was there. It pops up, takes the beats out, and he's going to be saying a couple of choice Dutch words, I feel.
Traden's got involved as well. Jimbo goes down just like that. The Team Liquid Diamonds start to fall back to back. They want to make an advance aggressive push on this one, which I think is fine, and they are doing so. 3-man stack driven in the back lines. Make sure he watches the off angle. And
talking about, obviously, you know, battle for points leaders and stuff like that. Team Liquid, they've been trying to challenge and stay in that top 4. Well, at the moment, they're sort of being pressured by some of the pack that are chasing them. The Knights, they've slipped down the table a little bit, to be fair. They've had decent kills today, but just not getting the placements.
I'll tell you what is impressive, though, from this team. Look, we're going to put it out there. Everyone knows what happened with the previous one with Texas and the team and everything else. There's no, you know, let's address it now. But to bring in a new player, we didn't really see too much for Reels. He kind of went through a quiet patch after Alliance and whatnot and didn't really hear too much from him. To bring him onto this roster, I think this team is performing absolutely superb. And just think of the way he's gelled, and think of the way, you know, other teams that have had the similar situations. Because you would have wanted like people looking at you and questioning what you've done and whether you could do this, being an invited team. I think they're playing bloody brilliantly. Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty big shift. Once again, it forces everyone that's kind of ditched a mansion. They're still safe in that circle. NRP in heaven right now are living the high life. Vitality also in their compound. It's getting very clustered. Constantine, how is he surviving in the fields at the moment? Oh, Reels, he's looking for more. He's going up on the hills trying to find Navi. There's no way you let anybody get close. Not when there's such an open ground to get to that building. However, he hasn't paid off. 2 of them fall back to back just like that. And then they get Mikaz steals it. They get mopped up, and that's the AWM dead and down and gone. Mikaz gets the nick. That's going to be Voxic down as well. And the Knights, and this is what we're talking about. They're getting good kills, but then they don't get the placements to back it up. And Reels is now the last man standing. It was to get to this in the shack. To get this building in the style that they did was great, but after that, it all just fell apart. They literally were just lingering around outside, hoping someone could come back, and they got murdered. Yeah, that did not swing well at all. I don't know how they... I mean, they went in mansion, they managed to get around the side, so they're just trying to sweep around mansion, right? It's like, yeah, we'll clear them all out, but that's 2 members of Navi. That's all it is. A 2v4, and that's gone bad. They didn't need to do it, though, as well. That's kind of the more weirder thing. I know we talk about clearing people out and making sure that areas are... Oh, no. And they just knocked each other as well. Oh, good Lord. Feels bad, man. Yeah, that didn't go well. M19. It's been, well, safe to say a bad 2 weeks for them. They're down the bottom of the table, and it looks like they're going to be staying rooted there at the moment.
because the teams around them, like CrowCrowd,
they're going to go look through the windows.
have picked up wins, but they're in trouble as well as Dream for You goes down to Winstrike, and that's all happening just to the south side of Yasnaya. But yeah, like you say, Reels in your picture-in-picture here.
He answers one back, though. He's out.
He's tossing nades.
Pre-nading through.
Just going for it.
Just like, here, have them. Post box, done.
Didn't manage to catch anyone with him.
It's been sneaking, and obviously, I mean, for these guys, there's no real, they don't have to move, no one else is going to push this. Let's take a quick peek at the map and have a look at these rotations.
Yeah, I was about to say, Pokemon is just going to peek over the edge and catch Reels out, and that's that. Navi's still with 4 alive and in a big 2-2 split.
Jokers, they're in the yellows, they're very happy. Winstrike up near Yasnaya need to push out into CrowCrowd if they want to go further, depending on the circle. NIP have control of Heaven. Navi, they'll take control of Mansion. ENCE yet to make a real injection in this one. They've got 2 players just outside of Yasnaya and 2 players playing the white. Senpai down. Rory finds him. Where's that battle happening there?
That's down in South Shelterway, yeah.
That's as fast as it gets, right?
Yeah, way down there, Shelter. They rotated, they've come out of prison and gone back down towards the Shelter area, playing edge at the moment because there's just nothing to be had. Red Diamonds, a team that have been hit and miss for a period of time, coming in certainly through. Obviously had another player change as well, as you mentioned, like Reels coming in. But Aduzi has also hit the ground running, by the way. He's come in and played brilliantly for them. But they're not having a great time, along with most of the CIS region, actually. I'm a little disappointed, I've got to be honest. I expected a bit more from CIS teams. Jokers, I think, still the only team in the top 8. I'm not even sure if they're in the top 8 anymore either. We'll soon see, because they've not had a great day. That's a pretty much centered up circle. It looks good for Vitality, Liquid, and NIP. FaZe also still got their 2 alive in there as well. And now Digital Athletics, they've just got themselves into the ditch, and the side actually got into the Alamu. Alamu was free.
But notice with FaZe, I know there's only 2 men standing, and one of them had a budget helmet on, but even still, maybe 6 months ago, when a pack of cars drive across you like that, you'd see them completely open up on it. But they're playing passive now. Again, there's only 2 alive, and they have one of these spots that teams know about. You know, it's those regular dips, those strong divots. Where it's like, okay, well, there's nothing else here, so let's just dive in. So they're kind of keeping the head down and tucking themselves in, hoping that nobody comes their way. I mean, Chris actually might.
Navi is sticking with his 2-2. So they've got 2 in Mansion and 2 in Warehouse. And Warehouse is massive to cover. Mansion is, well, I mean, it's on the edge of the circle, so there's not a great deal to cover. But I think TSM are going to come in the backs of Navi here.
I suppose the better thing about the Warehouse is that it is quite open inside. There's no real place to hide. They've only got a couple of big doors that they can enter from.
Red Diamonds are launching it. They're going straight into the ditch.
Monkey
and they found Monkey. Yeah, he's got a nade in hand. Can't get the damage down, unfortunately. And his support is a little way off at the moment, which means he will get flushed. And that leaves Vitality with 3, sorry.
I suppose it kind of does its job from Monkey's POV. Maybe he could have been a bit more ready for that and smash them on their arrival rather than trying to cook a nade. Go for the gun, get him off the back of the bike. Okay. TSM pull up, and the bullets are already going to be flying. Make sure you're aware, Wokey.
Oh, Samty flushed by Nip there. They managed to catch him in the ditch.
I like the aggression from Rory. Smoke already comes up and over. He's ready for it. Molly's in the back lines. They're making sure if they want to try and walk this one. They'll hide the vehicles as Gustav goes down, so
they have to fight this side as well, because Digital Athletics are putting the damage on the other side of the building, and there you go. Gustav goes down. He's trying to get around the side, so they're forced to fight in one angle.
The smokes will come up and give them a bit of breathing room, but like you go around these corners, and that's the thing. I know it's a rather big hangar, but because there's only a limited amount of doorways to cover between 2 of them, they can pretty much do it.
Red Diamonds, they got Raise Your Edge pushing on their backs. That's happening in the pit down the bottom corner here.
But that kind of comes off the back of Monkey's play. I know it was a death blade set out in the middle of nowhere, but it gives Vitality all that information. Riot
pushing on to Vitality. They're pushing. They're going to knock on Red Diamonds. They're going to knock on Vitality. They're starting to looking for it. And G2 now getting drawn towards that fire just to see if they can steal any of those kills away. There's also another conflict going on in the north side, which is ENCE and Joker starting to trade blows. They've got CrowCrowd sort of wedged between them as well. So it's starting to get a little cozy here as the circle slowly collapses in. Nookie going for that shot. He's in the blue. Tries to do what he can. It's still going to be ticking on him, but he's going to try and push around and flank and see if he can steal one more kill away.
How many times are we going to say Finns meeting Finns, unfortunately? G2 finding TSM. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
He's pushed it.
They've got the vehicles if they want to move.
Look at this, though. But ENCE are backing away because they've no information there. It is only Nookie on his own, but they don't know that. They think, oh, we flashed with Winstrike.
I mean, it's in the blue, right? The blue will eventually bring him out here. They can only heal for so long. Oh, all 4 of TSM are alive. I thought they'd lost one.
No. They're still looking good. Gaxy's just collecting it. NIP are collecting kills, by the way.
There's, I think for TSM, 2 ways you approach this. You either get the vehicles and reposition because the circle's not there, so you just take them and blast, or you've got the 4-man stack.
They've
Here we
got
go.
to move now. They have to move now because now you've got support arriving behind them. The question is, will they be still standing before they get there? They get the 1, they get 2. TSM, oh my word, they're getting knocked left and right. Even Mexi gets up against Michael down. Gustav comes down. Ooh. And the two members of Na'Vi decide not to push for it. Wookie down.
Wait,
and TSM out.
He tried resin in the open doorway and G2 pinged him.
Yep.
Oh no, he put the smoke up and they smashed him through it.
Pokemon is coming to get the revive on Rick Rent. He's coming into the warehouse. They're going to survive. I don't believe it. ENCE managed to make the move. They get to the rock, but they're taking fire from Jokers and NIP up on Heaven, who are sitting down looking at everyone. Meanwhile, on the west side of the circle, it's getting very congested. Vitality trying to hold them off as Jokers try and pin them. That's down in the bottom right-hand corner. You can see Red Diamonds and Raise Your Edge. Oh, a doozy goes off with best of luck. They managed to get 2 down there, and Raise Your Edge are just getting smashed.
And Molly did its damage, and all of a sudden, now Vitality are coming out. They want a piece of the action. They moved out of their compound and into a position to get an angle on these boys. That's, of course, because the circle has moved forward, they can move into it, get ahead of the game, get themselves a ridge line.
Snark's the last man standing here. Oh, it's just gone off, and Vitality just stole all those kills. All of those kills on Raise Your Edge. They managed to nick them. FaZe pops up. Mexi gets Bokamolodoi back down again. That's in the warehouse. He tries to go for the revive. Snark, the last man standing for Raise Your Edge, falls as G2 try to get the third party going and catch him in the back.
Spin around and tries to get out of where he arrived. Unfortunately, FaZe are already held up and waiting for the movement. It's a questionable one, I've got to say. While all was going down from TSM to be resin in the open like that, I could see what he was doing. There was a slither of health, so he went for the res on the player that was about to die first. But still, to be resing in an open doorway, they asked to die there. G2 took full advancement, pinged him in the head, and down they go. Much like many other teams during that quick engagement, 10 teams remaining, 24 individual players. Gaxy back onto set.
We haven't seen a great deal of it,
gone.
But there's a team going about their business right now. They're up in Heaven. NIP have been... I just keep seeing them in the kill feed. I just keep seeing them in the kill feed because they have that high ground and nobody's really contesting them up there.
It seems to be an ongoing story, right?
They're collecting so many kills right now. I'll be interested to see what they're on already.
Not a hyper flashy team, but certainly a consistent one, and a team that we know can frag given the opportunity.
And they still have the ridgeline. They still have that ridgeline. Everybody else has got to fight around them. Vitality and Jokers are going to clash. G2 and FaZe are probably going to clash in a second, as you can see them moving on one another. Digital Athletics, they've got to make a move, see where they're going to go outside the Alamo compound. And FaZe, well, I think they might be in trouble here.
They're in a tight situation for the fact that G2 and DA can hold them dead to rights. And as soon as they go over the hill, maybe even Jempty sees them. Ironically, it would be terrible if your ex-teammate just hunts you down and batters you on arrival.
Kane's gone over the road. He's gone for it. He's actually gone into that ditch where Red Diamonds just were. Vitality copped it. They saw the... heard the vehicle pull up, so they've immediately turned their attention and said, no way are we allowing someone to come in our back line. They were looking to engage onto Jokers, but they've immediately swung back. Shadow and NASA's coming in.
I like it. It's quick, it's fast, it's aggressive, but you've got to be careful of Vitality. They've heard the vehicle here. They know the information.
Digital Athletics are coming over. FaZe are trying to get a move on the vehicle. Oh, Jempty sidesteps, catches Mexi down at the same time. Now Digital Athletics are coming in the back. They want to try and get what they can. Jempty gets one, tries to get around the side, but will get taken down and flushed. That's going to be 8th place for Team Liquid here. As Mexi Gilso gets confirmed and FaZe left alone, tots the nade. That catches Iroh in the back. A beautiful death peeks over the side. There's another nade coming. Careful, you gotta run. Fuzz catches him in the back. Can he get another? Chris manages to steal the kill away as Fuzz continues to nade, but they're further to the side. He won't get them off. Now he's going to have to face 3 members of DA. Meanwhile, Vitality and the Jokers.
They managed to turn and face. They were pushing up on G2 as they did fall back. The Jokers were setting up ready, willing and able in the fields. And now they have to fight through this. They can deny line of sight with the rocks, but they're the ones that have to make the move. They're outside the circle, and Jokers are holding the line.
And while this all plays out, ooh, that nade's going to catch Iroh in the back again. Fuzz has got another.
Look at how weak they are, Lee.
Tosses another. Oh, where's he keeping these nades coming from? He's going to try and get it down, gets the spray down on Mert, and try and single-handedly take them on. Meanwhile, the Jokers fall to ENCE, actually, getting that third party in. And what I wanted to say while this was all playing out, keep your eye on what's happening. There's non-stop tracer fire coming over the top, and it's all from NIP. They're just third-partying everyone.
They've got a 2-2 split. They have to be aware of ENCE, who also have an eye line on several different angles from where they are in their position. Vitality have made it through the Jokers. They got hit from 2 different angles, unfortunately. Digital Athletics now again, as soon as they go over their little divot, their ball that they have, the crest on the hill, they'll be open to all kinds of pre-fire from G2. Circle goes the way of ENCE, but so does the bullet. Trefeli falls, and honestly, I think we might see a full NIP push-up here.
Yeah, he's give the call. It's like calling behind the tree.
How much utility do they have, though? Do they have any smokes to be able to make that move? That's quite a lot of open ground to traverse if they want to get there.
They've done nothing so far.
Vitality might actually punish them in the back here.
Yeah, they're trying to get a creep down the hill, but the problem is Chris, you can see, has got an angle on them along with the deer. Digital Athletics looking to try and benefit. Shadow gets caught out. There's Vitality losing one, so now Jazza, the last man standing for Vitality. Nades coming over the road. Is that NIP tossing the nades? No, that's got to be Digital Athletics. There's no way that's NIP that managed to nade onto G2.
They've made use of the nuance of G2.
Oh, look at Kane's flank. Can he catch DA off guard here? He's got an angle. Oh, it doesn't make it count for him. That's give his position up.
MBS has been caught out as well. He was trying to do the same and get an angle onto DA, but G2 have managed to find him. Here comes the push. The smokes are out. Murder will be with a pre-fire.
NAP on the move as well. They're pushing on Rustamar on the top there. They should be able to catch him behind that tree line. They have to move because the circle has kind of gone that way. It's worked out actually for Jazza, by the way. He's going to be the solo man in the fields. And this circle splits in the road. Either side, Rustamar will fall. Miraku picks another up.
Nice work for NIP. They're clearing out the northern area. MBS also has a vehicle, so he can get out of dodge and meet up with them, take control of that ridgeline and use the trees to their advantage.
G2, just what are they doing? They're so focused on Vitality. They've just had a little engagement with DA, thought, they're smoking, and ignored them.
Well, you clearly wanted one, and it worked. I mean, Chris has got 1 point, but was it worth giving up all that ground that they had?
Well, either side of the road is where the battle now stands. There is a crate ahead of them. There's nades, though, still for DA. Look at this.
They have a ball,
that's going to find its home. That second one coming in. Going to have to back away. Kane gets downed. Udia's low as well, so he took a chunk of it. Miraku pops up, says goodnight, Udia. And now NBS is going to join the rest of NIP. 3 men to the top side. It's going to be a straight standoff as the nades come through and Kane and Udia fall, along with G2.
Circle's not too bad for either side of this. If there's a man who can, I mean, it's Chris. The man's a monster. Gone back to a scar as well, so happy days for him. He can control himself. He's not inside the circle, but he's not far off of it. And for him, you just have to hope that NIP and DA finish off one another, and he can take second place. He might even be able to mop up here and get involved once they've been battered.
Yeah.
Just stab someone in the back and call it a GG.
3v3, just sitting behind the hay bale and hoping that he can collect what he can. And Miraku's got to keep his eye on that one because he's probably most likely the one to be caught out for it. NIP, we were talking about it earlier, they've only had 1 win, which is unbelievable when you think of the points they've had throughout this week. They've just had 1 win in the entirety of the 38 games so far. Miraku tagged down, not flushed though, didn't catch him down, didn't get the knock. Now Vard and NBS try and return fire. As we watch this high ground position, you can see how the topography lies out. There is just a couple of small ridges and ditch that just gives them the cover.
It's quite bumpy, so you wouldn't expect one of them to be, unless it's a full-blown sniper rifle. M24, K98, something like that will do the damage, but they need to find the face. At the moment, it seems to be all minis and ARs, so if you do take some fire, you can at least back off and keep yourself alive. It'll be a slow one. You need a big knock.
Don't forget, Iroh just got that crate as well, so he's got the level 3 gear that I didn't see what weapon he pulled from it, but either way.
Just imagine whipping out an arm in this circle.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was just wondering.
All right, boys, it's a party now.
I mean, even in M249, it'd be nice right now. Oh, they found Chris. That's going to be DA that will eliminate him. So Chris goes down, so it's a battle once again. Digital Athletics NIP that happened the last time these two faced off was a straight fight in the courtyard just across in the mansion. This time, though, a square 3v3.
Smokes will go up to give themselves some breathing room. NIP have made a further advancement into the center, so the blue will be forcing this engagement where Sixmo is. He's got seconds. Oh, as soon as he turns away, do they move? They were trying to flush him out, but he went early. It was a good read. Circling the back lines. The bullets come through, though. I heard a big gun kicking off there.
Down.
Did the damage, so the initial one's there. The second one follows up, and now they just have to flood onto Vard.
It's Vard. Can he do it? Oh, look at that. They're pushing in the middle. He's actually the other side of the smoke, laying down. He's got to try and put something down for him. As soon as he pops that smoke out, they're going to know exactly where he is. Iro pushes in, and Digital Athletics look to be taking this far. Barring Vard doing something amazing. It's going to be a high kill game as well.
GG.